Everyone, Donald Trump talking today about these attacks in New York and New Jersey, saying he would, quote, knock the hell out of terrorists. Watch.
Our local police, they know who a lot of these people are. They're afraid to do anything about it because they don't want to be accused of profiling, and they don't want to be accused of all sorts of things. We're trying to be so politically correct in our country, and this is only going to get worse. This isn't going to get better.
This is Hillary Clinton holds an impromptu press conference. Imagine that this morning, vowing to stop the jihadis.
We will defeat the evil, twisted ideology of the terrorists. I'm the only candidate in this race who has been part of the hard decisions to take terrorists off the battlefield. And I've laid out a comprehensive plan to meet the evolving nature of this threat and take the fight to ISIS.
Also, President Obama finally addressing the nation this morning after having remained silent all weekend long because he was so busy fundraising. Watch him here.
We will continue to lead the global coalition in the fight to destroy ISIL, which is instigating a lot of people over the internet to carry out attacks. We are going to continue to go after them. We're going to take out their leaders. We're going to take out their infrastructure. They are continuing to lose ground in Iraq and in Syria.
Kind of wonder what took them so long. I guess the fundraising stuff really kept them busy. Anyway, joining me right now with their thoughts on the politics of all this, Rachel Campos-Staffy from the Libre Initiative and Fox News contributor Leslie Marshall. Good to see both of you. You know,
You too,
I want to ask about sort of the political implications, because it seems as though, Leslie, when there's something like this that happens, people want change. They don't want the status quo. Obama has clearly failed in terms of being able to really keep us as safe as we would like these last 8 years. So people are saying, why would I give that opportunity to Hillary? Is that why it was important for her to get out there and give that impromptu press conference, something that we know she's not fond of doing?
I think especially leading up to the debates, it's essential that both candidates show the country how they're so different from one another, not just in their ideas and their plans, their blueprints for the future with regard to terrorism, specifically with regard to ISIS, but also their temperaments. And quite frankly, something that nobody has been able to provide, because I think a lot of us still have a big question mark, is as we defeat, and we are gaining great ground against ISIS in both Syria and Iraq, and as they lose that ground, we're seeing more lone wolf attacks, not just here in the U.S., but abroad. And as a result, I think, unfortunately, I would agree with Trump on that we will see more of this. But how do we stop that? How do we stop that lone wolf sitting there at their computer who has gets sucked into this radicalized ideology?
You know, but there's something, I think, for a lot of Americans, Rachel, that they find very appealing about the simple language of Donald Trump. In this case, you know, saying, look, we're going to knock the hell out of those terrorists, because that's kind of how people feel. And talking tough is important right now when you're dealing with what we are dealing with. Rachel.
Absolutely. I mean, just listen to those two clips. One of them, you know, the president sounds very passive. He doesn't sound as engaged. Hillary has that same passive tone. We got a plan. But listen, these guys have had 8 years to do something about this, and all we see is that the threat keeps getting bigger and worse. And I'll tell you what.
And it's hitting home,
the things that happen in New York.
I mean,
that's right.
That's where it's really
happening in New York. But the things that are happening in New York are tragic. The stabbing in Middle America in St. Cloud, Minnesota, that in a mall, that sends shockwaves to moms everywhere. And I think this is a big moment in the election, because this no longer is about politics and who said what. This is about your kids. This is about safety. And if you're not safe in St. Cloud, Minnesota, you're not safe anywhere in America.
I apologize. We are short on time, but I'm going to see you guys in a little bit, so don't go anywhere. We're going to take a